As a football player, one of the things that I got really good at was getting into what psychologist Csikszentmihalyi calls the flow or flow zones. And I know people talk about flow zones a lot. And it's just interesting how a lot more of the people that are talking about flow zones are speaking from more of a theory standpoint, what it's like to be in the flow zone. I think that's one of the things that I experienced when I was on the football field. That's why I got really good at blocking out the noise. Csikszentmihalyi really talks about how it is a quieting of the prefrontal cortex, which is associated with self-criticism, and allowing for automatic peak performance to emerge. That's his definition, right? The way I can describe it as I reflect about my years of playing football, especially in college as well, the best way I can describe it is really like it's a quieting of the noise in one's mind to an apex, right? So there's like this apex that happens as you're hearing noise, and then it just comes there's this apex which hits this critical point of silence, right? It hits this critical point of silence where you are literally in one mind, one focus, one mission to produce one result. And so it's almost like a tapping into oneself, right? It's almost like getting into your own mind and quieting the noise that we often deal with. I just did this series on focus and noise audits. And so one of those types of noise, you've got external noise, there's systemic noise, but then there's also internal noise. And sometimes we need to learn how to quiet or understand what is the filter that I'm using as it relates to my internal noise to now heighten my focus, right? And so that's really kind of the best way I can describe flow and flow zones. Flow zones are really where you're essentially just creating an environment for your flow to exist. And the more you do it, the better you get at not only being able to identify the environments where you can get into a flow state, but then also creating